Hey guys, welcome back to the Omaha Places podcast. We're your hosts. My name is Cahner and I'm the founder of Omaha Places and 402 Social.
And my name is Delaney. I'm the digital content coordinator for Omaha Places. Welcome back.
Thank you.
But we're not even in our normal studio.
Yeah,
so.
okay, fun fact. We're actually in the Herdat sports bar. Are we allowed to say that? I think
so.
Okay, we're in the Herdat sports bar right now instead of our normal Herdat podcast studio because there was construction or something. So hence the different background. We look like sports newscasters right now.
Yes, I like this role play that we're doing.
Yeah.
Or just a newscaster in general. I'm like, oh, I was a journalist once.
Yeah.
Now here I am, giving you the scoop.
Circle. I feel like we're at a weird angle too. We're like,
I don't know how to talk to you.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, also our first time back together in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've podcasted together. Feels good to be back.
Yes.
Back together. I feel like we probably have a lot to catch up on. Where have you been in the last... Did you put stuff from the past 3 weeks, or is this
No,
just this week?
I've talked a little bit about it here and there, but actually I wanted to shout out you. Cahner did her first marathon.
I did do my first marathon. I think I said that in the last episode that I was here. I did run the London Marathon a couple weeks ago now. It was so much fun until like mile 23, then it wasn't fun. I feel like anybody who has run a marathon can probably really relate to that. But yeah, London is just like, it's one of the 6 or 7, I don't know how many there are, marathon majors. So it's like a huge marathon. They actually set a Guinness World Record for highest number of people to cross the finish line, and I believe it was like 56,000 people.
Wow.
So there was a lot of people there. And London is known for its like people run for charity. I did not run for a charity, I just ran on my own, but there was a lot of people there who were like repping like team shirts, or like people were dressed up. I saw a dinosaur, I saw a rhinoceros, I saw a guy running with a refrigerator on his back. So it's just like a really fun race environment. I do not plan as of right now to do another marathon. It did make me want to do another half marathon though, because the first half of it was so fun and like flew by so fast, where I was like, I could go do that again. But like I think obviously when you're running 26 miles, then the first 13 feels like a piece of cake.
First 13, I don't think I could even run 13. Let alone one this minute. So
you definitely have to work up to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a good time. And then I stayed in Europe for like another week after that as well.
Love.
So,
Well, I'm glad you're back. Glad you had
Yeah.
fun. Glad you competed and completed it,
Yeah.
I should say. But
I know that was kind of like my biggest goal for this first one, is just like finish. I feel like anybody who does a big race like that, it's like that should be your only goal for your first time at least. Okay, but where have you been this last week?
So I went to the first Omaha Farmers Market in the Old Market.
Nice.
This happens every Saturday from 8 to 12 downtown, and every Sunday from 9 to 1 in Exarban. But it was so much fun. I saw Dan Hoppin there. That was a joy. And I actually saw a lot of people I knew. And that dog that I posted in our video is actually one of my coworkers at the bar's puppy.
Oh, cool.
Yaku.
I was laughing because he's like laying on a dog bed or something, but he has a bunch of
carrot.
veggies. Yeah,
He has a carrot. No.
That was really cute.
And he kind of looked like so bored in the video. I was like, you could have at least like smiled or something, but he was still cute. So I did that. It is family and pet friendly. It has everything from fruits and vegetables to flowers, art, more.
Honey.
There are musicians to enjoy. So definitely a good spot to check out, and I'm glad I went. I actually went there right before junk stock, so I had like 2 markets in one day.
Dang, that's a busy day. Yeah, I feel like there's something about the Omaha Farmers Market, like you're always going to see people you know, because it just brings everybody out, which is so fun, I think.
Yes. And I like the Old Market one just because it has like a vibe, like a really interesting vibe to it with the brick, and it feels like I'm back in time somehow.
Yeah.
But the Exarban one is also one of my favorites.
I
think it's an award-winning
Is it
market.
Really?
I think I saw. So
That's
the
pretty cool.
Exarban specifically.
Oh, that's cool. I should go to the old market one more often because I can walk to the Exarban one. So I just like, if I'm going to go, I typically go to that one, but I really should make the trip down to the old market on a Saturday. Cause I haven't been down there in probably like for a farmer's market in like 3 years, maybe 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. Because I mean, I've been to the Exarban one so many times, but like that's just so convenient versus getting in the car and like driving.
That's fair.
And then also parking in general is harder in the old market, but
Yeah.
you're right. It is kind of vibey.
But since we're talking about the old market, we went to La Buvette's Deli.
We did.
Delicatessen.
Okay. That I have still been thinking about that sandwich that we had, and specifically the salt on the bread. That was
sourdough
so
that they
good.
make in-house.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's just called La Buvette Deli, right? Or
Delicatessen.
Yeah. So it is a little deli just to the left of La Buvette. So La Buvette's on the corner. The deli is just to the left of it. I lived in Omaha for so long before I ever even knew that like existed. But yeah, you can go in and they have just a bunch of like some dry goods like wines and stuff.
Oils.
Snacks. You can get like fresh cheese and meats and stuff. And then they started having like, it's a daily sandwich special?
Daily sandwich and soup. So they usually just choose 2 sandwiches and 2 soups for that day. And they'll always post that either on their billboard outside or on their Instagram. Yeah. And I actually discovered this place from a girl who lives downtown. I saw it on her TikTok. She was doing like a day in the life.
I do remember that.
So that's how I discovered it. And then some of the girls went to that deli like maybe a few months ago or something. And that was the first time I had been there, but it never lets me down. This was the second sandwich I've tried.
Good. Pretty much all of us except Megan got like a mushroom melt. Then we got a roast beef and
horseradish.
But you couldn't even, none of us could taste.
I didn't know what horseradish tastes like,
but it was
good.
So good. If you guys saw the photo I posted on our stories, those sandwiches, like they were so bomb.
And I feel like they're pretty affordable for as big of a sandwich as it is. Like it's a big like rectangle.
Huge. And I think all like with tip, it was like $10.
Yeah.
Which is so good just for like
and all the fresh ingredients. I mean, they slice it right there. Mm-hmm. They might have like a few sandwiches pre-made like maybe a few minutes in advance if that, but normally they make everything as it's ordered. So definitely go check that out.
Recommend that. I think we'll be posting a video about it. You were filming, right?
Yeah.
It's also one of those places. There's very few places that we like don't want to post about, but I feel like that is one of those places I'm like, like, should we gatekeep that? I mean, obviously we're not gatekeeping it. We're talking about it on the podcast, but
we don't do that.
Yeah. I actually can't think of any place that we have gatekeeped.
No.
But it's been a thought in my mind. Haley always is like, I'm pro gatekeeping.
That's funny.
All right, where else have you been?
I finally got to try Virtuoso Pizza off Maple and Benson. I've lived there 3 years now. It took me that long to stop by my local pizza spot. What? I actually got there right as they were closing, which was unfortunate, but they had like some cheese pizza and they're like, we can throw some pepperonis on there for you. And I was like, that'd be great. I'll take that. And that's what we did. Nice. But I also noticed they have a patio out back that I never knew was there.
Okay.
So I'm curating the patio post for you guys. It's gonna be like as much as I can fit into a post.
Okay, literally for like 5 hours of my day yesterday, I decided to reorganize our patio blog post. So like we do have an existing post on our website that has a bunch of patios listed. And when I was going through it, as half of the places I was like, I've never even heard of this place. Like it is a pretty, not comprehensive by any means, but like it's a long list of places.
What kind of places? Because I think I made that list last year.
It was a lot of like bars and grills and stuff, which is just like not places that I frequent as much. So it's not that they were like obscure places by any means. But I completely reorganized it. So I think it's going to be way better for you guys to like actually find a patio that you want to go to. So previously it was organized by neighborhood, and now I have reorganized it by type of business. And then in the little description underneath the name, I put what neighborhood it's in. So you still have the neighborhood information, but now it's restaurants first and then bars. And I think I might even add like a subcategory of sports bars, because I feel like those are kind of different categories. And then at the end is like coffee shops and ice cream places / like miscellaneous.
Okay, love.
So yeah, because when you want a patio, it's like, oh, let's go like specifically for happy hour and sit on a patio, or let's go get dinner and sit on a patio.
Yeah, it's got to match the vibe.
Yeah. So that is now reorganized for you guys, and we haven't even like really updated that for this year, but like Delaney said, she's working on that.
Yeah, I've been trying to go around and get all the photos and videos. So.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of you guys have been DMing us to do a patio post.
It'll probably be either a 2-parter or a 3-parter. We don't know.
Oh, that could be.
Because last year was a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Just to fit in all the pictures.
Was it really?
It was. We did 2 parts because the first one went so well. So then I think right before the part 2 carousel went out, I was like, I need to go run around and get some more pictures. So that morning I was like bopping around Omaha, getting the pictures of the patios.
Dang. Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll do a 3-parter, and then next year we should make it a 4-parter. This it's going to be comprehensive within the next 5 years. No,
I don't know. There's no possible way.
But it is going to be like, I mean, it already is.
We might have to split it into districts at some point, and then split it by all those categories you talked about.
Yeah.
That would be the most comprehensive.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Okay.
Omaha's growing.
It really is.
And there's always new openings.
We should see if this place has a patio. Does this bar and restaurant have a patio? Okay, we should.
Oh yeah, there's one out front. We're gonna take a picture of that.
We'll take photos of that before we leave. Okay, shall we move on to follower questions?
Yes. Let's.
Okay, the first one that I pulled was any fun shops you recommend visiting. This was a little bit vague. I don't know what kind of shop you're looking for, but I do think that there are a lot of fun ones. So there's a lot in Little Bohemia, Dust Goods and Gifts, Family of Things, but I think Family of Things actually just closed their storefront.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I can never remember if it's Dusk or Family of Things.
It must be Family of Things, because Dusk does a lot of the Little Bohemia community interaction. Yeah. So
you can't, or Family of Things still does exist. You just have to shop online. But Dust Goods and Gifts, they have just like, you know, those stores where it's like super aesthetic and like very curated stuff. But it's just like a little bit of everything. Like that's one of those stores where it's so fun to just go in and like see what they have. And it's a bunch of stuff that you're like, oh, I didn't even know that a candle in the shape of a over easy egg existed, but now I have to have it.
Yeah, the shop tells you what you need. You don't tell the shop what you need.
Yeah, and they just have fun things like cookbooks, and they have like birthday cards. They have a whole little corner in the back for kids stuff.
And honestly, I think I'd been there just because I was shopping that strip in Little Bohemia.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't know what it was called, you're like, this
you would
is the
find
place.
it. Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff there. 1404 Collective is also in Little Bohemia. That's like a vintage secondhand store. Then the greenhouse has tons of plants and plant accessories and plant coffee table books and all that kind of stuff. And then on the plant train, these are not in Little Bohemia, but Mulhall's is such a fun place to just go walk around. I think I'm going to go there on Saturday, actually.
And you can take your pets.
Yeah. Oh, can you take your cats?
I bet you can.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would say anything.
Okay. Also, Noticed is a fun one. Chlorophyll, which is in Exarban Village. That's probably like the most aesthetic plant store I've ever seen. And then Shealytown Market.
And they just moved to Little Bohemia.
Yeah, I did remember that. We should go in and check out their new space.
Yes,
are they reopened yet? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay.
They're having their market this weekend.
Oh, fun.
Or not this weekend, last weekend for you.
Sad.
Sorry. It happens once a month.
Okay.
I think maybe it's the
Market.
second Saturday of every month or something like that. But
okay. Another one, this is in Dundee, but Albany and Avers for thrifting and secondhand. We had Delaney had Amanda on the podcast.
Love Amanda.
Yeah, she's great. Also, Alley Cat Vintage, that's in Benson.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good one.
Right next to, or I shouldn't say that, right across from Full House Bar.
Okay.
If you know where that is.
And then Godega is a fun one. That's located downtown. That's just like literally bodega style, kind of like corner store. They have a little coffee shop. I like going in there and just being like, what are some fun food brands or like food things that I didn't know about? They're also opening a second location in Exarban Village here pretty soon. 5-9 in Benson is like a art and stationery store. They also just have a lot of fun stuff.
And connected to it, they have Ceremony, which is like a clothing store, which is also vintage and secondhand and super cool clothes.
Yeah. Made in Omaha is a fun one. They only carry products that are from like local makers, both in Omaha and the greater Nebraska area. And they have a huge mix of like clothes, jewelry, food products. They have everything. And then just a note that we do have a huge list of small businesses, like small locally owned businesses on our website. So if you guys want even more places to shop, you can go check that out.
And if you want it to be more like girly, the Mother's Day post that we did, which is Small Shop Curated, is great for that. Or we do have our Christmas, I think it's Small Business Saturday guide, which has like a little bit for everyone in your family, including pets.
Yeah. And the Small Business Saturday one is organized by like who you're shopping for, right? So it's like women's apparel, men's apparel. So again, you can kind of search by whatever vibe you're looking for.
Yeah. Someone also asked what workshops and classes are around Omaha. And I feel like you've taken a lot of different things, so you can just jump in. But Noticed has a bunch of plant workshops. So from terrariums to propagation, succulent bowls, all sorts of things. They always have that on their Instagram page. And then Hot Shops Art Center, you can learn how to make mixed media art, pottery, drawing, and more. And then 402 Arts is actually located right behind Hardy Coffee in Benson. They have writers' workshops, songwriting, actors' workshops, so many cool things. And then for pottery, Connor's taken Kimba's Touch pottery classes.
Yes, it was very fun.
And then Rosie Clayco in Papillion also offers memberships and pottery classes. And then if you're looking to get into some dance, pole fitness classes, check out Elevate in Benson. I still have yet to do that. It's on my bucket list for the year. So I will keep updating you on that when I decide I'm going to commit. Because I've just
You should do it soon.
been crazy busy, but yeah, I'm so excited. And then Creative Impulse, they meet up in different places around Omaha, sometimes at Culture House, at Interrail, and they'll do like collages, tie-dye candles, sneaker art, and also they just have some socials that you can check out if you're doing like speed dating or other things. So they always have cool stuff and classes to do.
The other one that I'll add to this, which I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, but Metro Community College, anybody can enroll in classes there, and they literally have a class for everything you could possibly want to learn. Their course catalog is crazy big, and some of them are like semester-long classes, some of them are just a one-time class, some of them are week-long, so they really do have like a bunch of different options. It obviously just depends on what you're learning, but those are like, that's a good place to go to and check some of those stuff out.
This would also be a fun listicle to make.
I was just thinking
if we can make it to some of these different things.
Yeah, because we have a category on our website for workshops and classes, but I think we only have like individual things there. We don't have any listicles for that.
Yeah, that'd be
And this
cool.
is also the second time that we've like kind of answered this question on the podcast. So I think there is a need for this
information. To add things to do.
You know what's on my bucket list for this year is ice skating classes.
Ice skating classes, that'd be fun.
I want to take them at Tranquility. I just need to call them because I think the people had told me to kind of ask for a custom class, because I used to be a figure skater, so I can still ice skate pretty well. So I don't want to go sign up for like learn to skate with 5-year-olds, but I also don't necessarily want private coaching, so I don't really know where that leaves me.
Fair.
But that's going to be on my bucket list for this year.
There you go. Because you've done sailboating, you've done Kimba's Touch.
Oh yeah, you can learn to sail out at Lake Manawa in Council Bluffs. That is really fun. I actually think I might do that again this year. This would be the third year in a row that I just take the beginner's class. One, because I feel like when I go a whole year without sailing at all, then I kind of forget what I'm doing.
Right.
But two, I don't really have a desire to necessarily like compete or like get super good. I just want to go hang out on the water.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to be scuba diver certified, and that's expired now.
Oh.
But I need to go get recertified, and I'd have to take the beginner's course again because I'm sure the equipment has been upgraded or changed somehow, and I don't really remember everything.
Well, I really don't think it's been up to upgrade it that much.
But I don't know. Sometimes they have cool masks or something.
Yeah, because I'm open waters. I actually have a couple specialty certifications too.
And where do you go to keep those up?
I just try and, like, anytime I'm traveling in a place that offers diving, I just try and go.
Okay.
I actually don't know when/if mine actually expires. I got certified in 2018. So
I think you just have to go on a certain amount of dives per year to keep it updated.
Okay.
But I haven't been on a dive in a few years, so I would need to retake the whole thing again.
Got it. Yeah, I would say I go on at least one a year. And then I went diving okay, this is not related to Omaha, but I feel like if people are divers in Omaha, this would be kind of fun information. There is a cave in Missouri outside of St. Louis that you can go diving in. And it was like one of the coolest dives I've ever done.
Really?
It's like an old mining cave that then kind of collapsed in on itself, and now it's just filled with water, but it's not like connected to anything, so it's just still water. And then depending on like what cave routes you dive through, you can see all of the old like railroads and like mining equipment that are just like frozen down there in the water.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I got a nitrox certification while I did that, and then that was my first like cave diving experience too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what? We need to put that on the website because
I feel like that would be a fun like weekend trip
Yeah.
section. Yeah, I should go pull the photos that I have from that.
and then people who move here from the coast or something still have something to do.
Yeah. I know, because there really aren't many places to dive. I think you can go diving at Lake Manawa. I don't know how cool it would be, but
It depends on how murky the water is.
yeah.
Like, there are lots of lakes you could dive, but would you be able to see anything? And would
Probably
you
not.
like to see anything? I
know.
I don't know.
That was my experience when I did a triathlon last year. We did a practice swim at Lake Cunningham, and I couldn't see anything. And I was kind of like, okay, this is weird. Like, obviously
out,
it's
yeah.
like dirty. And then we did our real swim in Lake Michigan in Chicago, and you could like kind of see the bottom, but it was like still a little fuzzy. And I hated that. I was like, I would rather not see
it.
anything, because when you can like kind of see things, you just see these like dark shapes under you, and you're like, I don't know if that's like
Gonna eat me.
a giant fish, or is that just like a piece of trash that's floating there? Like, when you can tell something's there but you don't know what it is, that freaked me out even more.
Okay, murkiness is better.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we got off on a tangent. You pulled one more question.
Okay, best on-the-go breakfast for early mornings. I shouted out Stories Coffee Company. They have parfaits, breakfast sandwiches, bagels, and more. They have locations off 114th and Dodge, 156th and Dodge, and then 107th and Q. Omaha Bagel Company, you just have to order ahead because they don't have like a specific location that you can like walk in, but they do deliver within 5 minutes of their house, or you can pick it up between like 9 o'clock and 9:30. I think. What did I say?
Minutes.
5 miles. And then Hardy Coffee Company is my go-to. I always get the breakfast burrito, but they also have pastries that are all made at their Highlander location. But they also have locations downtown Benson and Chalco. Square Donut, if you're looking for a donut that's not normal, go get a square one off 160th and Maple. But
not
it's but it's still super good. And then Sweet Magnolia's Bake Shop at Millward Commons or 40th and Cumming. And then Tout Le Jour, they have coffees and matcha too, but they have pastries, donuts, and other savory treats. They have 2 locations, 72nd and Dodge, and then one on 168th and Center.
Okay, I just had so many thoughts while you were saying that. Okay, the first one is that I just want to shout out that Stories has a drive-through. So especially if it's like quick on-the-go breakfast, that's a good one. I like going to the Mill in the morning. They also have a drive-through, which is convenient. They have a bunch of pastries and breakfast burritos too, and breakfast sandwiches. And then I totally forgot about a huge place that I went that I didn't put in the places we went this week because I don't know, my memory. Okay, yesterday I went to the Catalyst building, which is that like new building right off Saddle Creek where like all that construction was right across from UNMC. So it's like still pretty under construction, but Big Grove Brewing is going in there. And then they also operate a coffee shop.
Which we learned about. Did we learn it from them? Did they DM us?
They DM'd us, yeah. And so I went in there yesterday, and the coffee shop is super cute. It's fully open and operating. Right now, they are serving Sweet Magnolia's pastries. Once they like fully get up and running, and once the Big Grove kitchen is running, they're going to start doing in-house pastries. But they have some like little tables there already, so you can like grab a coffee, grab a pastry, sit and work for a while. And then right beyond the coffee shop is a huge co-working space that, okay, cool. I was literally like shocked yesterday because I didn't even know that that building was open already, let alone how freaking cool it was. I'm going to post some stories about it today.
Please do, because I want to see.
This co-working space was like 3 different levels, but it wasn't the levels where you're just like, okay, you go up to floor 1 and then you go up to floor 2. Like, they have this like windy staircase that literally looked like the staircases in Harry Potter where they like move and they're all like going in different directions. And so there's like all these like little mini levels where you just like go up 3 stairs or something. And then it's like a kind of a new construction building, but they still have a lot of old beams from the whatever was there before, like a mill or something.
Okay, that's cool.
Something that like, it's like one of those like steel industrial buildings. And so you can really see a lot of the beams that are exposed. And then, my overalls just came off. It just came on. Oh my God, what the heck is going on? Okay, we're just going to tighten this. But yeah, this was literally the biggest co-working space I've ever seen. So our team needs to go work there sometime.
That'd be fun.
And then Big Grove, the brewery, is like still very much under construction, but you can see where the patio is going to be. So I will post like it's obviously unfinished now, but I'm going to post a photo of that.
I'm honestly so excited for Big Grove as an Iowa City girl, which is where it originated. I can't wait to see what they do with the space and how people like it, because a lot of bikers like stop there in Iowa City. So I wonder if it'll build like a different kind of community base here in Omaha.
Interesting. I mean so they are also building a pedestrian bridge over Saddle Creek to connect the UNMC campus to this like new development area where the Catalyst building is. Yeah. And that will include a bike lane as well, which I'm really excited about. And Big Grove has like been in the works to go in there for a long time, because I first found out about that during Ragbri, which was 2 years ago now. And Big Grove is like, they have a bunch of stops along the Ragbri route.
And if you go to some bars right now, like I know Little Ricky's is carrying one of their brews. So they might have some Big Grove cans around for you to try if you want to try it before it's open.
Yeah. So I think that Big Grove itself and that whole building, that whole area is going to be a huge new thing for Omaha. There's also like a building that is still very much under construction that's like right next door to the Catalyst building. And she said it's going to be a parking garage up top and then retail space down below. She didn't know who was going in there yet because it's a different company that's managing that. But lots of new stuff coming to the Saddle Creek area. Yeah.
Speaking of co-working spaces, I forgot a place I did go, was Connect Co-working, which is right across from the Joslin Museum and Central High, but they just also in that same building opened Block Fitness, which is the new gym located downtown, which will be nice for that area because I feel like it was missing. Yeah. But I mean, they just are finishing construction on it. It'll be open May 12th, which I think this podcast will be out after that. So
cool.
Yeah, very cool to check out. Lots of nice equipment, lots of mirrors. That needed to happen downtown.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of gyms down there.
There's like Orange Theory, and then I think you have to wait till you get to Midtown Crossing to find a gym.
Yeah, dang. Okay, well, good for them. Excited to see that open. All right, we will move on to events. So we post our What's Happening in Omaha This Weekend video and send out a newsletter every Thursday morning, but this podcast comes out on Wednesdays, so you guys get a little sneak peek. If you do need to find events like any other time, or if you want to find weekday events or events into the future, we also have an event calendar on our website, so you guys can always go check that out. This is going to be for the weekend of May 15th to the 18th. So the first thing that I put was Hogwarts Under the Stars at Falconwood Park. So this is actually the first of, well, I don't know if it's the first.
No, it'll be the second.
Okay, the second of multiple weekends of Harry Potter movies showing at Falconwood Park. So May 14th, they're showing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets,
which comes out today. So if you're hearing this, go there tonight.
Oh yeah,
this is
so
the Wednesday.
Tonight. Yep. And then they're also doing May 21st is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And then May 28th is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
And then they're showing the rest in September. So they're taking a little break, and then it'll be happening again in September for the remaining movies, which is so exciting.
I know. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I really want to go to a movie at Falconwood Park.
I do too.
I've been to drive-ins many times, but never down there. So now's your chance to go check it out.
Yes. This is the last weekend of the Renaissance Festival, you guys. So this is happening May 17th and 18th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Bellevue Berry Farm, which if you've ever been to Bellevue Berry Farm when it's not the Renaissance Festival, you'll understand why it makes so much sense to have the Renaissance Festival there. It's a perfect opportunity to throw yourself into a time machine back to medieval days. So dress up like you're a knight or a commoner or a princess, whatever you want to be, and grab a turkey leg. And then they have full contact horse jousting. Full contact horse jousting.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone, I don't know if it's as
for some people,
gory as it would have been in the medieval times.
I hope not.
But they have that. And then they also will have like over 100 costume characters there, which I'm sure look like kings, queens, all the stuff. And then they'll have musicians from regional, local, national, they said.
Cool.
And then one-of-a-kind artisans to shop, which I'm sure also fit the vibe. So go check that out. This is the last weekend of it.
That is definitely a very unique event. Like there's no other event like that in Omaha.
Anybody who's gone there, which I had some coworkers who said they've been and love it. They said it's a super cool experience. Okay. And I don't even know where you buy costumes for that sort of thing. I feel like you have to plan in advance, like around Halloween or something. But
yeah, I wonder if there's a local,
or if you like thrift it together. I saw a girl last week who looked like she was going to the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, cool.
Cute dress.
Love.
But yeah.
Okay, the Rockbrook Village Springfest Art and Craft Show is happening Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're going to have over 60 local artists and crafters. They're going to have live music on the plaza. You can go enjoy lunch at one of the many restaurants in Rockbrook Village. All of the 60 local artists are going to have everything from handmade goods like jewelry, pottery, glass, wood, photography, painting. So all within that like artist's realm. You can bring the kids, and there will also be kids activities, art activities with Doodle Art Studio, which we have featured before.
Love Doodle Art Studio. The Durham Museum is hosting River City History Tours in Omaha. So if you're a local or not a local, this would be a good opportunity to learn more about the city. On the 17th, they're doing a downtown Omaha walking tour at 10 a.m. starting at the Durham. You'll head to the Old Market and visit locations ranging from speakeasies to the Old Market Passageway, and then wrap up at the Omaha Farmers Market. Good time to like include that. And then they will tell you stories from early Omahans as you go, which is super cool. And then on the 18th, they're doing the Gritty City tour, which is a bus tour at 1 p.m. It talks about the challenges the city faced as the westward expansion was happening. So the walking tour will be $20 for museum members and $26 for non-members, and then the bus tour is $32 and then $38 for non-members. That
is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to take my mom to do one of their bus tours, and we've just never gotten around to it.
I want to do the walking tour really bad, especially if it ends up at the Omaha Farmers Market.
Yeah, that'd be fun. If you need a late Mother's Day gift, that'd be a good one. Yeah. But
they're doing this on select days through October, so you'll have plenty of time to catch one if you miss this round.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else to add for this week?
I think that's it.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Omaha Places podcast. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.